1991, a peculiar exhibition arrived on the outskirts of Fens, a town already struggling against economic decline. The residents were craving escape from the lives they had become stuck in, and its fields, once ripe with industry, became the perfect place for something unnatural to take root. The exhibit called itself the Third Eye Theatre, a travelling art showcase that promised visitors an experience beyond the boundaries of perception, and at the heart of its allure was a single exhibit: the 3.5D sculptures.
Come one, come all, step beyond sight, beyond space, beyond self. The Third Eye Theatre welcomes you to explore the limits of perception. Our never seen before 3.5D sculptures are unlike anything you've ever seen. Open your mind, embrace the unknown. The Third Eye Theatre, 1 week only, October.
At first it seemed like an ordinary, if eccentric, art showcase. Many of those living in Fens at the time viewed it as a disgraceful, arrogant display of wealth and refused to attend. But those who did visit the 3.5D sculptures reported something strange. It began with a tingling sensation, a phantom touch, like fingers grazing their skin where none should be. And then things began to escalate.
I just remember standing there, looking at it, and suddenly I felt arms. But they weren't mine. I knew where my hands were, but I also knew that my fingers were somewhere else, in someone else's hand, so I could feel them moving, stretching. And the longer I looked, the worse it got. My chest, it felt like it was
making space.
Like something else was trying to fit inside the space where I stood. It was an insane feeling. I know it sounds horrible, trippy even, and it is, but it just leaves you wanting to go again. See how long you can last.
By the second night, it was clear this was no ordinary exhibition. Word spread through Fens. Visitors began returning again and again, spending hours inside the dimly lit tent, their gazes locked onto the sculptures. At first it was described as curiosity, then fascination, then something deeper, something more insatiable.
I went 3 times the first day, 5 the second. I didn't mean to, I felt wrong when I wasn't near them, like something was missing, like a pressure inside my chest was growing. The sculptures, they gave it relief. Every time I stepped away, I felt hollow, like I was an unfinished thought.
It was no longer about seeing the sculptures. It was about feeling them. Visitors described the experience as a pull, an unseen force threading itself through their bones, their veins, their skin, and their mind. By the gallery's third day in Fens, the addiction was rampant. many of the few lucky enough to have jobs stopped going in. Shops remained closed. Parents left their children home alone, drawn back to the Third Eye Theatre with a compulsion they couldn't explain. Few could stay with the sculptures for extended periods, but the longer they managed, the fuller the experience, and many visitors were desperate for a full experience. Tears would pour from their eyes, cheeks bulge, mouths fall open with words rolling from their elongated tongues, words that didn't belong to them.
I could feel them pressing against my ribs, curled in the spaces between my organs. They whispered when I tried to sleep, and that sensation would linger but never remain. It called me back every time, and then it left. I swear, after that we became like a town in recovery, never being able to reach that sensation again. I have a friend, actually, who left Fens. He's gone to try and find it. He said they must be somewhere. They toured here, they pitched up here. They must just travel. He was in Copenhagen last time I heard from him, but he still hasn't found the sculptures.
Some visitors reported feeling their bones shift, stretch, as if something was adjusting to fit within them.
Others claimed that
Tongues no longer felt like their own, moving without command, whispering in a voice that did not belong to them. Reports emerged of visitors experiencing temporary blindness, dizziness, and in some cases, hallucinations. 5 people went missing over the course of the gallery's short stay in Fens. 4 of these disappearances were never solved. Some claim these were simply drifters, forgotten by society. Others believe they are still here, just not in ways we can see.
My friend Paula, she went first, and she was laughing at the sculptures, saying they looked stupid, and she just stopped. She kept looking and looking, and she said she could feel something in her eyes, something growing. She turned to me and she said, "I think my tongue has a tongue." We all just thought,
well, we all just thought it was a laugh, like getting drunk or something. We went in with her and we were looking around and
had our own experiences, but nothing like what she said she had. I mean, I left feeling like I had an extra finger, but I never saw her again.
The official story was that Paula Mitchell simply left town, but those who attended the gallery had another suspicion. Someone or something had taken her. When there were 4 further disappearances, questions were beginning to be asked of the gallery, but by this time it had moved on to an unknown location. The woman that was found, however, told a different story. Stephanie Plemons had lived in Fens her entire life. Having lived in the town for 37 years, Stephanie knew Fens like the back of her hand, and on October 20th, 1991, she went missing after visiting the Third Eye Theatre. She was found 18 days later in a sewage container 5 feet beneath the ground, 68.4 kilometers from Fens, and on the very edge of the county of LOCHOLLOW. Stephanie has told her story numerous times over the years and transformed herself into a respected public figure across the county. A transformation that many who knew her before she went missing found hard to believe. She was notorious in the town for her antisocial behaviour growing up.
It changed me. The whole experience changed me for the better. I mean, look at me now. See? It's changed me for the better. I'm a different person, honestly.
Come on then, tell us about it again. We all know, but we want to hear it from you.
Well, aren't you a sweet thing, Mr. Millman? Well, if you insist. We all know about the sculptures, don't we? Right. Well, as I'm sure you know, the week the gallery was in Fens, people became obsessed, addicted even, to spending the time with these sculptures. They became like
Trump, and the idea is to make you think with them. To make you feel like
you were sharing
safety translating body with something else. But it sort of felt right.
Anyway,
Listen, look how now, shall we say, I was a bit of a terror.
I had to be the best. I had to take more than anyone else, and I did. And that's the last thing I remember from this world.
Now, when you say this world...
Well, this is how it felt, Quinn. I was no longer in this world. Well, I was. Everything was very similar, but with small differences. It began to feel like my memories were changing. Truly bizarre sensation. Some stayed the same, and some made room for new ones that felt like they'd been there last time. I went home.
That's where I believed was home.
And then I woke up, and it stunk. I'm just so grateful that somebody was there, close enough by, to hear me, and find a way to get me out.
Following the gallery's visit, we conducted examinations on those who reported experiencing symptoms. What we found was unprecedented. Several individuals had developed additional irises beneath their eyelids, dormant during waking hours, but observed blinking during REM sleep. The implications of this remain unknown. It is unclear whether these additional irises are functional. The patients we have examined all lack the ability to recall any dreams during sleep. This is exactly why the Optica Network is such an important program, and thanks to advancements made, we've been able to develop a method of dream reading.
I've been asked about this before, and I'll tell you. When the sculptures came, it wasn't just that people went missing. It was that some of them came back wrong. It was still their bodies, yes, but they were not themselves. Not anymore. Some of them didn't even realise it. And it was in so many ways. But the way they walked,
that was the giveaway.
The way they moved. It was right, they were wearing shoes 2 sizes too big for them. But the whole body. But as far as I know, nobody has said anything. And they seem to just want to settle back into life.
It's been suggested that those who spent too long with the sculptures may have returned not as the same people. Those who survived the gallery's grip returned with nothing but fragments of their former selves. They were always recognized by family and friends, but with a sense of unease. The person was still there, but the essence of them had shifted. Some of the people who returned from the 3.5D sculptures were more than altered. They were different souls inhabiting the same skin.
He was my little brother. But when he returned, he wasn't the same. His face, his smile, it wasn't right. His laugh was forced, but I don't think he knew that. He didn't even know that he wasn't himself. He started saying things he would never say and almost second-guessing every action he made. Talking about people we'd never met, things we'd never done, while not recognizing like lifelong friends and family.
Psychologists, in their attempts to explain the phenomena, spoke of psychic fragmentation, the idea that the human psyche could, under extreme conditions, split and reform in ways unimaginable. But for some, the theory fell short. The changes weren't just mental, they were physical. Small, subtle marks, pale imprints on the body that resembled scars or old wounds appeared on the returning individuals. Their physical forms bore the traces of someone else's experience.
I'll see them. Those who come back from the sculptures. It's not just them. There's something else, something they carry with them. Something not human. And when they look at you, it's like they're looking through you. It's unnerving, I'm telling you. They do not belong here. Whoever came back instead of them, they don't belong here.
The Third Eye Theatre left Fens without warning, vanishing as quickly as it arrived. But the changes it brought remain. Those who came back, they still live among us. But who they are now, nobody can say for sure. The true nature of the 3.5D sculptures remains a mystery, as does the fate of those lost to them. But one thing is certain. The Third Eye Theatre never stays in one place for long, and nobody knows where it is now. Once it leaves, all that remains are those that are left behind.